So this is what it would essentially look like. So you can see that there are crop marks still visible, okay, but the black outline is not. So we can't print the black outline because it wouldn't look right when you actually construct it. So that will inform you a little bit of what you need to do to construct this. So you can have it open if you need to. So first, for the crop marks where things are going to fold, you're going to lay the ruler down and basically line it up. And there's this handy dandy scorer that is on the counter, and you're basically going to do this. So you're really going to dent the paper, and what that does is it makes sure that when you try to fold it, it folds exactly where it's supposed to fold. Okay, so this is what vendors would do. They have a different basically a different plate that they use to help score it. So you're going to do that in all of the sections other than where you're going to cut it. Now, so I'm going to do this everywhere. When I construct this, I'm going to leave it kind of loose so you guys can see how it's made for when you're putting it together as well. So hopefully between this video and the sample, you will get it. So I did it in all the other sections. So if you can't see, like look closely, you can actually see it's dented. When in doubt, dent it a lot. Okay, you don't need to be gentle with this, and you're going to use this one for it. You'll see it's thinner on the edge for that. So then you're going to put your tape down on this tab area. So this is the tab area that is going to make it so when you fold it, you can tape it down. And so I'm just going to place it down on this side of the score mark. Okay, so then now I'm going to cut it. So if you look at the die line on your computer, you'll see that there's a little triangle here because this is the inside of the carton. Remember back in the day when you have to fold out the carton. I can't put that graphic there because it would look bad if I printed it. So this is what you have to do and you have to remember. And another reason why you're going to do this twice, meaning you're going to practice doing this, is you can measure and you can see that it's 2.5, okay, or 2 3/4, okay. So it's 1 5/8. You're going to mark this middle section. Oops. You're going to mark the middle section with a little pencil mark. And then you're going to use this, hopefully this looks, you're going to use this corner and that corner where you're going to mark it, and you're going to score it. And this is, you really want to score it well here. And try not to over score it because you're going to hit the other parts of your section, and this will make your life a lot easier. You're basically making a triangle, guys. Okay. Alright, so now I have a fresh blade on this. This is the premium presentation paper, just like you use for the holiday card, so it's thick and constructed stick like that. So then you're going to cut it. And again, you're not going to cut the whole strip. You're going to basically cut a window. And remember to keep the blade as parallel to the surface as possible. Okay, so then you have when you get to the tape section, you can just basically cut where the prop marks are, just the edge of the tape. Doesn't matter how exact it is. And when you get to the bottom, this, you're actually going to slice these sections because they're going to fold in. If you look at a box, like that's how it's made. And so you're going to put the ruler down, and you're basically from the bottom of where you score. See, this is where the score marks really come in handy because you can actually use them as reference. You're going to cut down. Okay, so you're going to do that before you cut the bottom. And then you're going to cut the bottom part of this tab as well because you don't really need it on the bottom. So I'm going to cut from section down. And I also don't need the tab just right here on this section and there, so I'm going to cut it. Now you can cut some of this after you actually start to construct it, so it's not a huge deal if you forget that step. And then so I'm going to cut this bottom. There. So I kind of cut that part out. All right, so this is where you're folding, and then this is where you're going to use the bone folder. And the bone folder is exactly how it sounds. Use it to fold things and crease it tightly, and it's made out of bone. So you would do that. And so I don't even have to line things up because I dented it, I scored it, so it's going to go exactly where it should go. Just putting it down. If you ever get in a bind and don't have a bone folder, a plastic knife handle works well too. So you're just going to fold this over. If you find that it's not folding very easily for you, it's because you didn't crease it enough with the scoring tool. Okay, so you see it starts to look like a milk carton. Here's the tab that is going to apply there. So then you got to fold this part. And then you're going to fold up. Okay. Good idea. And then this is where the triangles get a little trickier. Like you're going to fold it kind of like that, and you'll see it starts to allow you to do this very easily if you scored it well. You just gotta be a little gentle with things so you don't like bend everything. Okay, and you'll see it starts to fold in like this. So what I'm gonna do next is, so this is where you can decide when you're doing this whether or not you want to keep this little tab section up here. For this purpose, I'm going to do it, and then you can see this is why, again, you're going to construct it twice because you'll learn from your mistakes. Okay. And then you're basically going to align this up because they're the same height, okay? And align where the creases are, otherwise you're going to have a little trickier time. Okay. So then you have to have, depending on what you did for the bottom, I left mine white because of the style, you're going to have to apply some tape to the bottom of this. So then it applies. And this you can put them on, or you can kind of guess the length of it because you just don't want to have any exposed adhesive. But okay, so then you just put your hand through so it has something to push against. and do that. So then the bottom looks right, and then now you're kind of folding this in. And so this is where people have made different decisions of how they adhere this, because if it was a actual vendor, they have glue that they put in, and that's how, and then it gets clamped in. So what a lot of people have done is they've actually tucked little tape in here. Some people have actually cut out part of the tabs. So the simplest thing is to cut little tabs. And you could probably use, you can put them on this inside fold, or you can just make it in the bigger part of here. And then you gotta peel off the tape. So then when you fold it, that has one side, and then you just had to do the other side. Okay, and so you can expose all the adhesive at the very end, because once you do this, it's harder to get it in. But I can do that. And then you have a constructed milk carton. So I imagine some of you are not going to have as clean of a milk carton their first time around, but I expect it to be clean the second time around, or you're going to have to keep reprinting it and reconstructing it until you do. Because when you photograph this at the very end, if you recall me saying that you're putting in your portfolio the photographs of this package, not the actual package itself, because that is a skill in itself to learn how to photograph three-dimensional objects for your portfolio, and you need to know that skill. And photographs will show off your crappy craft if you have crappy craft. So you want to make sure that it looks good. It has sharp, clean edges. It's nice when you have that little pop of color in the inside. So if you haven't done anything, like, that's a nice thing to do as a design element. But that is how you construct a milk carton.